That live report. A warning for gym goers across Western Mass after a string of car break-ins at several gyms and fitness centers. Now, police are urging drivers to be more cautious.
Western Mass News reporter Addie Patterson joining us live from outside the East Longmeadow Police Department with more information on that. Addie.
Chris and Amanda, a couple of those car break-ins happening right here in East Longmeadow. General Manager of Pure Bar here in East Longmeadow, Janessa Cintron, says one of her clients' cars was broken into Wednesday morning as they were participating in an early morning workout class. The thieves busting open the car window and stealing the client's personal belongings. She also tells us similar break-ins have happened at other fitness centers across the state, including Pure Bar's sister studios in Northampton and Worcester, and also Orange Theory Fitness, a separate fitness location in East Longmeadow, which is right next to the Pure Bar location.
Similar incidents across the board where, people are smashing windows and just breaking into cars and trying to take anything that they can. So I think going into the holiday season, especially, just to be really mindful of your surroundings and what you have in your car.
Cintron also tells us Pure Bar has contacted their landlord to request an additional police presence in the parking lot, especially during those early morning and evening hours. Coming up here later tonight on Western Mass News at 6 o'clock, we speak with the East Longmeadow Police Department about what tips they have for folks who may be leaving their car unattended. For now, reporting live in East Longmeadow, Addie Patterson, Western Mass News.